if you look at the two states, it's amazing on how the results differ as well. I mean, Texas growth, as Brooks said, has been #1 in the last decade. California has been declining dramatically. People are leaving California in droves. As Brooks said, 1,000 are coming in here a day. They're all the rich ones who really want to produce and do well. It is amazing how the performance has come, even in the field of education. You know, while you have a long way to go to really be first class, your job in education has been excellent. I mean, think of California for a moment. And this is the state I left that I lived in most of my life. California has the highest paid teachers in the nation. Every now and then New Jersey is a little higher, but California and New Jersey vie for the highest paid teachers in the nation. If you look at the test scores done by the Department of Education, the NAEP scores, which looks at 4th grade and 8th grade English and math for all states. We have data going back to the beginning of time. If you look at this test scores, California students rank 4th worst in the nation. And in full disclosure, that 4th worst in the nation is the best performance California's had in the last 20 years, not the worst. They usually are second from the bottom. Sometimes Mississippi, sometimes New Mexico, sometimes Louisiana beats them out for the worst. But California's there. When you look at Texas, of the 5 megastates, which are New York, Illinois, Florida, Texas, and California, Texas is #1 by miles. The number of full-time equivalent employees per 10,000 population in education, Texas way outshines the other ones. Their improvement in their scores is phenomenal. Texas has done a great, great job. So my view here is not to criticize Texas, but my view here today is how can you make it better? And I want to just start off with you by saying, if you don't do it, who does do it? California has the California Teachers Association, which is the single largest political contributor in the state of California. It is twice as large as the next largest political contributor in the state of California. Of the top 15 political contributors in California, 6 are public employee unions, 3 are Indian tribes, and the rest are, I mean, it is amazing the opportunity you've got here in Texas. And the plan I've looked at is the Texas Taxpayers Savings Plan, which is being introduced in legislation by Senator Campbell. It is strongly supported by Lieutenant Governor Patrick and by the governor as well, Greg Abbott. It is a phenomenal plan. What this plan does, very simply, it says that all people are eligible. If they have been in public school the last year, they can get into this plan, the Texas Taxpayer Savings Grant. Or if they're coming into school, they can get into this plan as well. What they do is they get equivalent of a voucher for going to private school, which is 60% of the marginal cost savings of the cost that they would have incurred in the public school, or tuition, whichever is lower. But it gives them the key points here, and I want to stress the key points. This is comprehensive in the state of Texas. It's not just aimed at one group. What I've done, and what I was asked to do, is I've asked to look to summarize the studies that have been done on choice in schools. Now, when you look at all the other programs that have been done, virtually every one of them has been specifically focused. Not one of them has been comprehensive. So the studies that I've looked at here are all much narrower than the Texas plan is. They're all over the country. There's some 22 of them. But they are all very, very instructive as to what's going to happen here in the state of California. Excuse me, state of Texas. I tell you I was short, and I also was a little too dumb for coming to Texas, but the Tennessee allowed me to come in right away. If you get choice in schools, and if you look at all the results here, when you get choice, you see the performance increase dramatically in the students. The dropout rates declined, the graduation rates increase, test scores increase. You know, you have 130,000 dropouts per year. If you could just cut that rate to 65,000 dropouts per year, that would have an enormous change in the state of California. If you look at people's incomes over their lifetime, higher educated people earn more. If you graduate from high school as opposed to being a dropout, you have a higher income in the first years, but as it goes out in the years, your income gap over those who dropped out increases. If you go on from high school to college, again, your incomes rise and the gap increases over the years. If you graduate from college, you get even higher earnings per year. By getting the dropout rates to go down, by increasing the graduation rates, you will increase the earnings power of Texans dramatically. That will increase government, that'll increase spending, that'll increase property values, it will increase tax revenues. If you look at the prosperity, the property values, I mean, you know that when you have a home near a good school, the value of that home is worth a lot more than when you have a home near a very low performing school. By putting in choice, not only do you have better alternatives for your students, but what you also find happening, and it's in all of these studies, some 22 of them that I looked at, if you put it in choice, it makes the public schools much better as well. The public schools don't like losing the students, so they start competing. Once the private schools start taking the students out and luring them away, the public schools then respond by making better classes, better courses, better schools, and what you find is property values increases. And it's not just those students that go to the option of tuition of private schools, but it's the students that stay in the public school system that also start increasing their performance as well. If you look at the range where these improvements occur, I mean, it's incredible when you look at the inner cities of America and see the deprivation that occurs in the inner cities. If you look at the quality of the schools there, choice is really, really important for the inner cities, for minority students as well. The book I'm working on with Colonel West is exactly that. How can you increase the quality and the competence of life in the inner city? School choice is extremely important there. Teachers like it better. Teachers love performing well. You know, I've never met a teacher that likes to sort of have a mediocre or low performance class. They just don't. They like it better. You go through all of this thing. Competition is just key here. On the fiscal side of the equation. Now, on the fiscal side of the equation, because it's only 60% of the marginal cost of a student in the schools, there's a savings immediately to the state. As that number increases, the number of dropouts declines, and higher incomes go, you also get more tax revenues as well. You know, I can't think of one area in this whole arena where school choice doesn't make the lives of everyone in Texas better. More productivity, more output, more employment, higher property values, more attraction of people coming in, less crime. If you look at the crime statistics, it is amazing how poorly educated criminals really are. Raising those education standards, you're going to reduce the crime rates as well. Budget, you're going to find a very big improvement in budget as well. The last thing I want to just mention, and just quickly, is that when you look at the state of Texas, I don't know if you know that bastion of conservative judicial behavior called Travis County. These are all the right-wing judges in Travis County. As you know, there's a Travis County judge that has found, in fact, I think it's Judge Dietz, has found that Texas has not met the constitutional needs. If you look at school choice almost is perfectly suited to the types of things that get Judge Dietz's criteria satisfied almost perfectly. You know, everything we looked at in our study, and I hope you get a chance to go through it and look at it carefully, but please do, because you have a chance today to really put one more orbit distance between you and the rest of the nation. The one area that just the whole country has fallen short on is on education. We haven't had any major education innovation in literally generations. Now is the time. Once you bring this competition back into education, you will find that Texas will increase its differential with the rest of the nation, but most importantly, it will do the job of really serving those young people who are the future of America. And I just want to end my comments, Brooke, if I can, with sort of an old Reagan line, if I may. You'll forgive me. By the way, the last time I was in this room, I was doing the Bush talk. Remember the 4% one? Yeah, it was sort of fun. There was all these tables here. But I'm going to use a Reagan line instead of a Bush one, if I may. If not now, when? If not here, where? And then I'm going to use the sort of joke, the next line is, if not you, who? Seriously, this is your chance to really reach up and grasp destiny. School choice is the next major change coming in U.S. politics and economics, and really culling the next generation to really be productive and lead us on into the future. And I just want to thank you, Brooks, for letting me do this, and thank you all for being here. Please succeed in this one. Thank you.